Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, Crochet Happy I Am. I'm Nicole, and today I figured we will sit down, get comfortable, and do some chatting about yarn. So it turns out that not only is my niece wanting to learn how to crochet, but so is a friend of mine, her granddaughter. So in the process of showing Lexi the other evening, I realized that she didn't understand the different kinds of yarn. So I figured I'd sit down, and I have a bunch of different yarn around me. We'll go over the type of yarns and what they're good for, how to use them, what kind of hooks or even your knitting needles. How to understand what the different things on the paper, the little wrap, what those mean, and understanding colors, dye lots, why it's important to hold on to those papers until your project is 100% finished, just the ins and outs. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so let's start with the basics. I have here a Red Heart, the Jumbo Super Saver. These are great if you are making a big project like blanket, a jacket, sweaters, things like that. They don't just come in one solid color, they come in multiple color, multi-pack color, rainbow, however you want to phrase it, ombre. They do come in multiple things. This particular one, I wanted to start with this one because I wanted to explain this right here. This is the map, and on it it explains which end. What this means is what piece you're going to be pulling from to know your work. And what I mean by that is, if you look, okay, let's see, this says, so this claims that the yarn is supposed to be tucked in here, and you should pull it out and it's going to unravel from the outside. This side shows that it's going to unravel from the center, which there's your piece. The positive thing is pulling from the center, like I said in my last video, the whole time you're working, the skein itself isn't going to be flipping around. It's going to just sit in front of you or at your feet in your basket, however you set up your yarn. So that's what that is for. That tells you which end. So that way you're not going, oh gosh, and trying to figure it out. It makes life easier. The other thing, let's see. I also like this paper because it's big, you can read it, it's easier to see, especially on camera. See how it says no dye lot? That means that this one does not give a dye lot code. It just gives the color, the name of the color. So if for whatever reason, let's say you started a project, but you need one more, you go to the store and you're just going to look for the name. You're not looking for a dye lot, where some of them will have a dye lot and you have to match up your dye lot code. A lot of times they're in a number code. Like this one's perfect. Also Red Heart, multiple color. I love these ones. But so let's say I'm doing a project and I'm using this, but I need another one. So I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to match up these numbers right here because that's my dye lot code. What that tells me is that these were all dyed together. So when I introduce the next new skein to the project, it's going to blend and flow and look like one solid piece, where if you get a different dye lot, a lot of times the colors won't look the same, and when you put it together, you can tell the difference. You can see, oh, this was a totally different skein and not from the same dye. So matching your dye lots or name color is very important. You can't just eyeball it. That's one of the reasons why saving these papers is so important until you are completely finished with your project. The other good reason to save your papers is because a lot of times you'll notice there is an image, a picture of what you can do, and a lot of times it's because on the inside of the paper, if you take it off and look inside, they will write out the pattern to making that item that's on the front. So another good example is for this one, this little beanie hat that the girl in the picture is wearing, the pattern's on the inside. So if you want to make that, it's right there. And it's also, they do, what they put on the paper is a project that they suggest you can do with this yarn that's in there. So that's why, and I was explaining to Lexi, that's why a lot of times, and I think it's really funny, you'll go to Joann's and you'll see somebody in the aisle and she's just digging away through the basket of all the same looking, same skein. You're just like, seriously, grab one and go, lady, let's, move. But it's because she's looking for a different picture than the first one, because she's looking for a new pattern. It's pretty funny. I like to people watch, and it's entertaining. Okay, so there's your map of dye lots and which end is which on the skein. They also will show you, based on the weight of the yarn, we'll go back to the big printed one. This one is a medium 4, and right next to it they'll show a crochet hook and knitting needles. These are the recommended sizes for that kind of yarn. So when you go to make a project, you want to make sure that you work with the correct size hook or needle, because you don't want it to come out looking funny. But when you're first learning, you want to stay with a bigger size hook, because in that way, as you're working, you can see your stitches better. That's why I always recommend starting with just this size yarn. Doesn't have to be Red Heart. I personally love Red Heart, but it can be any other brand. Like for example, I have this right here, Lion brand. Okay, I had to make sure it's not Red Heart. Sorry. But these are called cupcakes. These are fun. They're cute, and they come in different sizes, different color schemes. You're not going to find a cupcake that's all one color. Cupcakes are designed to be different colors because they do different patterns and different things. Like this one. That was pretty. Had to buy it. Plus the names of these things are so creative. This one's called Coffee Break. It's fun. They're cute. But you'll notice it's a different weight. So it's a 3. This one says light 3. It's very thin. I do not advise using this to first learn because it's very thin. There we go. That should help better. It's very thin, and when you're, depending on what stitch you're doing, it's going to come out pretty tight, and it'll be a little bit harder for a beginner to see. This is also cool. This one gives you a map of how it looks, the color scheme that's inside, how it lays out, which I thought was really cool. I have done this. They have one, a mint, and I made myself a long sweater jacket. It's so cute. So we love cupcakes. Cupcakes are fun, but if you were going to try to do a cupcake, use a cupcake. Make sure that it's like a 4 medium weight to learn. Once you've advanced, then you can start challenging yourself with a smaller yarn. That's always a good idea. But beginners, stay big. More advanced crocheters, knock yourself out. With the 4 weight, you usually want to use like a 5.5 to 6 size hook. Again, each one will tell you. Yeah, this one says 5 millimeter. So, print's tiny. Hey, if any of those yarn companies are watching, can you guys make the print just a tad bit bigger? Because, you know, some of us are blind. Anyway, so cupcakes are fun to try. Then you got this one. This kind of yarn. This is by Loops and Threads. It's called a Cozy Wool. And this one, what size is this? This is super bulky 6 weight. And the recommended crochet hook on this is a 9 millimeter. 9 millimeter hooks are pretty big. Is that big. So this is going to be a big project, and of course, again, like I said, the paper is suggesting to make this little beanie hat that she's wearing, but you can do whatever you want. I'm just showing you different size yarns. Another kind of chunky yarn is these, and it kind of feels like a velvety type. I lost the paper off of this one. This is not ideal. Don't lose your papers, because then you lose track. If I took this to the store to match, I would have to take a piece to the store with me, because it's never ideal to take this with you, the whole thing. So they usually say, you know, take a swatch, which a swatch is just a little piece, a little sample. Take that with you, and then you can just match it, or just don't lose your papers. So let's go to baby yarn. Baby yarn can be really thin or really thick, but either way, the color scheme is always going to be really soft, never bright and bold, but always just soft and comfortable. And you'll always notice it is super, super soft. Doesn't matter if it's a thin weight or a chunky. It's always super soft, and that's because it makes sure that the babies are comfortable. Again, check your dye lots and the crochet hook size. This one's considered a chunky. This will make a very comfy, fluffy baby blanket. Really soft. And in this one, as you can see, it's thin. This one, again, don't lose your paper. But I think I have another skein that has its paper, so. But this one, it's 4 millimeter hook, which makes sense because I think this is more like a 2 or 3 weight. But there is a color code. So this is by Burnett, and as I'm reading this skein was actually made in Canada, and so everything's a little bit different each country. Also, when you do terminology, you'll notice a lot of people will refer to either US terminology or UK terminology, And that's because it's a little bit different. Like UK, they say treble crochet, and for United States, that's a double crochet. So it's, you gotta listen to that stuff too. But we can talk terminology another video. Today we're just focusing on the different kinds of yarns and sizes. These ones, I really like this. These little sugar and creams. They also have that little mapping. The print's going to be a little small because these are tiny. They do make a bigger one. It's actually kind of cool. I have one, but I didn't want to pull it out. But yeah, these little sugar and creams make for the cutest things ever. I've made beanie hats. I've made pot holders. But anyway, so these are fun. These are also good to work with when you're first learning, only because of the texture, and it makes it really easy as you're crocheting to see your work and your stitches, because it's not like super fuzzy. They just, it won't, oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Just trust me, these work great for when you're first learning. Now, for a type of yarn, I don't advise a beginner to use these. This is more advanced crocheter, but these are so much fun, and I have made plenty of this and given plenty to family and friends. But this is the Scrubby yarns that Red Heart's been putting out. They make different colors, and it's got that fuzzy, but I make dish scrubbies. The great part about this, look how pretty that is. Can't wait to make this purple one. But the cool thing is with those dish scrubbies, so you make them in just a normal 25 by 25 perfect little square, and you wash your dishes, it gets icky because it is, but throw it in the laundry. It washes out perfectly. Take it out of the dryer, put it back, and wash your dishes again with it. So it's reusable. You don't just toss it away like a sponge. This is great. So if you are a advanced crocheter and you can find your next stitch by feel, this is a great yarn. Dish scrubbies are so much fun. I advise, give it a try. It's great. Yeah, see? Night, that's the item. I wonder if the pattern's inside. Usually, yep, free pattern. There's a pattern in there for a dish scrubby. So try those out. Okay, so then you have your fancier yarn. Red Heart is priced very well. That's another reason why I love Red Heart so much, is because it's financially affordable to buy a fun yarn and make a nice project, and you're not out a whole lot of money. Where you get into the fancier yarns, like this one, and this is lace weight. It's very thin, very delicate. Let me see if I can get just one little strand to come out. It's very fine. It's hard to get this to come out, but like I said, these are really expensive, and I'm talking like $30. These aren't cheap. So I don't use a whole lot of this stuff, but when knitted and crocheted, they are beautiful yarns. Nice shawls, it's really pretty and it's really soft. And they make them out of wool and nylon, different things like that. So, yeah, this is for an advanced person, and it's also going to require teeny tiny hooks. So these little tiny hooks are what you're going to be working with. Another fancy yarn is these. They're packaged brown one. It's weird, but also for more of an advanced person, because there's little frays coming off, so it's a different kind of texture. So more of an advanced person can work with this one. This one is Society Spike or Pike. I don't normally purchase this kind of yarn. The only reason why I have this yarn is, again, I am all about spending less but getting the most out of my money for my yarn. And so I don't always go to Joann's or Michael's or order online. I love OfferUp. People constantly, you get a lot of people that try to learn, so they'll buy the teach yourself at home kit, decide they don't like it, and then they put it all up on OfferUp. Or they just decide they don't want to crochet anymore or knit anymore, so then they just on OfferUp. So you can go on OfferUp, you can find all kinds of yarn bundles, and people are like, yeah, I've got 10 skeins of yarn, I don't want any more, $8. Okay. So I buy a lot of those deals on OfferUp. So don't always think that you're limited to only going to Joann's or Michael's, your craft store, wherever your craft store is. You can check your OfferUp app because it's out there. All you gotta do is type in yarn. All the way around, I would say go shopping. Buy yarn, play with it, see what you like. Don't necessarily stick to only what people tell you should use. Play with whatever you want to play with. Experiment with it. Get creative. Make fun, colorful blankets. You can do pretty much everything and anything that you want. Just always remember, though, at the end of your project, you're always going to end up, there's going to be a little bit left over. That's okay. Don't throw these away. These scraps, no matter how big your scrap ball is, they can come together as a team and make another project. Like currently right now I have sitting here, I've been working on, for me personally, that's why not a whole lot of time goes into it, but I'm making myself a scrap blanket granny cluster. So, save these. They're not just for cat toys. Other than that, I would say enjoy your yarn, have fun with it, experiment. But like I said, and I cannot emphasize this anymore, save your papers. They are the key to making a great project. So on that note, I hope you have a good day. Please don't forget to click on the subscribe button, because the more I get that clicked, the happier I am. For those of you who are already subscribed, thank you very much. I appreciate so much your support. Please don't forget to also like. I am here to help you learn to become a better crocheter, artist, knitter, all that fun stuff. So enjoy my videos, subscribe, and I will see you on my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!